Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Really great to be speaking here right after lunch. But a few words on how to build your cybersecurity leadership in this day and age, or the so-called digital age, or how to tame the beast, if you like. The beast, it seems, comes in many different forms. We're talking about globalization, digitalization, artificial intelligence, data-driven transformations, robotics, you name it. But as we all know, the world is moving to a more complex and globally connected world, where that world certainly offers new technologies and services, and those give opportunities to businesses. But on the other hand, within those opportunities lie risks. Some of the risks we don't know of, and some of them we don't grasp truly. So I would say that the old school security solutions do not scale. The ones based on mitigating the threats. And if we believe that there are flexible organizations that will succeed or thrive in the future, those organizations certainly need new kind of thinking. So digitalizing business, the transformation, surely introduces a few challenges. I think I've stated some of the key issues here on this slide. Because if you think about investments, and you think about how well you know the business goals, how well you know the business strategy, and the goals deducted from that. Whether you are knowing the goals, the strategy, you're probably better in identifying correct investment targets. And by doing so, you're really helping the organization with rapid or even brave decision making. And you don't fall into that trap of cybersecurity leaders who are hindering down business work, slowing down projects, shooting down business ideas. You don't want to go there. And also, you're more prepared to build the right size cybersecurity budget, which then again gives you the resources to help you to help organizations face these new challenges. So how do you do this? How do you go about building the new cybersecurity leadership? Well, we think that it's essential that you create a cybersecurity strategy. One that's, of course, aligned with the company strategy. And to do that, you need to focus above the operational level, above the technical details and technical hype, and start thinking in more strategic or tactical terms, if you like. To give you a few examples, what this might mean in the context of different businesses. Your business might be such that you're relying on highly sensible data. Well, in that case, the key factors of your strategy would be to protect that data, allowing only minimal outside access, and most likely keeping a very high level or detailed level audit trail, audit logs. On the other hand, you might be running a business where you're offering services to dedicated customers and partners, and those services need to be highly reliable. In that case, you would be looking anything from the agreement processes to integration technologies to high availability solutions in order to reach that level of reliability. Third example that comes to mind is the one where you want to build highly scalable services. In that case, you're looking at distributed environments, different technologies, cloud technologies, and you have to make the decisions, real strategic ones, that are you going to build those services yourself, and by that keeping the knowledge in-house, or are you going to use partners? And if you're using outside partners, how do you define the needed confidentiality level with those partners? In any case, in any business, we think that there are certain roles to be found, and you should clearly define basic roles, their functions and responsibilities in order to implement the strategy. And some of these roles are more crucial than others. Some of these roles have to deal with this leadership thing. So if you're looking at the world as a pie representation, the cybersecurity world as pie representation, we might end up with something like this, where in the core of the pie you have the strategies, the business strategy and the cybersecurity strategy. And the slices of the pie define the roles. Now, because I come from a consultancy company, I tend to name things looking at from that world, but of course these roles might as well be filled from in-house. To the left, we have maybe quite conventional roles of data protection consultant and cybersecurity consultant. And at the bottom, maybe not so conventional roles of digitalization, data protection, cybersecurity advisor, and business cybersecurity consultant. But at the top, the two roles are the leading ones I want to concentrate a bit more. The executive cybersecurity advisor and the cybersecurity architect. Well, looking at the role of the advisor here, in that role, you're responsible to understand the company strategy, the goals, the business environment, and the company ecosystem. And of course, you're acting as the advisor to the top management. You're the one who's responsible for defining the cybersecurity strategy and respective measures. You also lead the strategic security work. You spar and advise the management on cybersecurity issues. And you're responsible for reporting the security status using the measures you defined earlier with when defining strategy. And you have to support risk management and resilience. Now, looking at this list, it's easy to tell that to fill up this role, you really need to have quite a lot of experience and expertise from different fields of security and business, analytical skills and leadership skills. It's a tough job for anyone. Well, then, looking at the architect role, in that role, you're responsible for really integrating the security as a part of company services and development work. You have to understand relevant business frameworks, and you have to be ready to implement different security framework principles or requirements. And you have to be able to do that or define them both from the process and the technical side. You're the one who's defining the architecture and applying that to practice so that also the ongoing projects can utilize the best practices for this business area or industry. And if you have some free time during the early hours of the night, you're reviewing constantly new technologies and services. Well, looking at this list, it's plain to see that probably for any major company, you should have at least a few architects working. And that leads me to my final slide. Just three takeaways from this speech. Business digitalization, it's a necessity and it's a game changer for cybersecurity. You enable the digital transformation by creating a strategy and the right budget for that. And you have to define the central roles to implement that strategy, the roles, their functions, and responsibilities. Doesn't look that hard looking at these 3 points in this slide, but as anyone ever been involved in this line of work will tell you, it sure is not easy. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Pauli Kauppila from Secrays. Come and visit us. I would love to hear your feedback. And have a great afternoon. Thank you very much.